This is Shadows Enigma giving you, well, the obvious video that you see here. Right now you're looking at a Platinum Riot Shield, and to scroll to the knives. Yes, obviously, if Riot Shield is Platinum, so is the knife. And here's how I did it, okay? It's obvious. The Riot Shield. Okay, when it comes to the Riot Shield, you're going to want to run the camo grinding in hardcore. And here's the reason why. Compared to core, if you run it in core, you're going to have to hit people like 2 or 3 times. But here's the thing, you could sponge a little bit extra, a little bit more damage. But when it comes to hardcore, yeah, you get pretty much shot once and you're done. But you're also, when you get close enough, you hit them and with the rat shield and they're done for. So like it's a really fair trade off. And then with the platinum to go platinum with the knife, or gold rather, to get platinum with the knife, you're gonna want to run core. Okay. But going back to the riot shield, uh, you don't need you don't need stems. You don't need the stems. Basically, what you're going to want to run is you're going to run smokes, concussions, and flashbang grenades for tacticals. Um, but like, switch during certain situations. Like if you have the enemy team backpedaling all the time, then you're going to want to run concussion or flashbang. Um, if they're bunching up together and they backpedal, then you're going to want to run flashbang. Um, and uh, and those are the tactical grenades that you're going to want to run. As far as perks, okay, uh, I will agree with most YouTube videos that do have these suggestions. Um, as of right now, you're looking at the double time perk, which is perk 1. Um, by the way, I have the specialist activated, so there's no kill streaks whatsoever. This is strictly going for camos. And trust me, you're going to want to do this because there's no way. Like, you might get lucky and get maybe 1 or 2 kill streaks or score streaks, however you have your class set up for. But it's not really recommended. Like, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get those streaks that you're going to want normally. So you're going to have to depend on your teammates a lot to get these kill streaks or score streaks if needed and if necessary. But the first perk is double time. Uh, uh, Means that it doubles the duration of tactical sprint and increases your crouch movement. Um, with the right shield and the knife, before getting to crouch, the crouch camos, I found out that it's actually best to just really don't run as much. The only time you're going to want to run is when you know for a fact that you can actually run and get to a spot to where uh, like you have the advantage. Okay, so like if you're going towards a door, like you're going to want to camp in small spaces, um, and camp behind doors with the riot shield. And the reason why is also you're not going to want to run. You're not going to want to run a knife while you're going for the riot shield, because then you can actually use put on a pistol and use your pistol to kind of lure people into you. Um, Unless you're playing on shipment, which is pretty much how I got it done. I recommend that if you have the option to play on the map shipment, you're going to want to play shipment as much as humanly possible. Uh, Especially when it comes to it being a small map and it's close quarters, and especially objective wise. For example, if it's kill confirmed, perfect. Perfect game mode. Domination's also an option. Uh, I wouldn't recommend like Headquarters or uh, what else? What other game? Team Deathmatch, because those two game modes, they a lot of people like to camp. Hardpoint is another one that I would avoid. If you're not familiar with Hardpoint, it's basically like King of the Hill, but in Call of Duty. Um, yeah, so like you're gonna want to avoid that as much as possible. The second perk is Ghost. Okay, the reason why I use Ghost is because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to use that UAV a lot just to reveal your location. I've tried putting it in the specialist area, and it just didn't work out for me. Like it might work better for you because it allows people to see where you are, and they'll come to you most likely. Um, but like I said, it depends on the map, depends on how your style is. I recommend playing aggressively. A lot of YouTubers on YouTube recommend that you play passively, which what I mean by playing passively is you sit back and you wait for them to come to you. And I don't recommend that really. I really don't, because you're going to spend double the amount of time that you should getting these camos. And trust me, if you're going to get these camos, it's going to be a pain. It's going to be so frustrating. And but once it's done, you're gonna be like, like you're gonna be so relieved. Trust me, it may seem like it's stressful, which it is, but in the end, after you get it done, it's so relieving. It's so like it makes you feel like you're like the top of the world by the time you're done. Battle hardened, that speaks for itself. Um, some people like to use like the flashbangs and the concussion grenades on you, or even gas grenades. Even gas grenades um, are effective. Uh, Against you. And if you don't have battle hardened, then you really should have it at the first specialist. Honestly, um, honestly, you really should. I wouldn't put it at 2 because you're gonna need the first specialist ability, which is EOD. EOD basically speaks for itself. It prevents a non-kill streak explosive damage, like it reduces it massively, or at least I think it's half damage, I think, or something like that. It's weird, but even in hardcore, uh, like as long as you're not like standing directly underneath it, underneath like a rocket, not a rocket, a grenade or something like that, um, then it won't really kill you. Like if you're like running away from it, you like, and but if they shoot you, obviously you're gonna die if you die to explosive. But that's kind of speaks for itself. Cold blooded for 4 kills. Right around that time, you're gonna wind up facing like people who have VTOLs and uh, other AI controlled kill streaks like sentry guns, VTOLs, stuff like that. Cold blooded is where it's at. I recommend that. Restock, like the sixth one, I just kind of filled it. Like I didn't really need uh, restock or any of the other abilities. I literally checked all of them, and I really didn't need any of them. Uh, but if you're lucky to live long enough to get the 6 kills, then congratulations. You're freaking beastly at what you do. Which I've achieved that a few times, just a few times. But it's not likely. So, with that being said, that's the perks that I recommend that you run with. Um, you don't have to. I mean, you could do whatever, but I recommend that you at least run something similar to this. Uh, as far as knifing, okay, like knifing, go to core. Like it's so easier to go to core, and here's why. It's a knife, so like it's an instant lethal kill. Like you swing it once at an enemy, it's an instant kill. Um, both have similarities of camos and how you can achieve the camos. Uh, some are recommended that, or some are that recommend that you use a smoke grenade or at least get kills near smoke. I found out that as long as you throw a smoke grenade, and if you live long enough after you've used that smoke grenade, you still it will still count. It will still count towards your to your camos because you're in the same life as it already occurred. Uh, so like if you throw a smoke grenade and you live for like 5 minutes after the smoke grenade dissipates and is no longer in the uh, in the area of effect, it will still count as you getting kills with smokes because it was in the same life. Um, when you threw the smoke and got kills while near smoke, it will still count. As long as you're getting kills within the vicinity that the smoke was thrown, even from you or a teammate, and you live long enough after after its effect has worn off and it dissipates, it will still count. Uh, as far as double kills, it speaks for itself. You got to be careful, especially when you're right shielding in hardcore, because it's so easy to it's so easy to just to die to a freaking backpedaler. It's annoying. Uh, as far as knifing, uh, basically you're gonna, especially on shipment, you're gonna want to play as aggressive as you can. There's no camping. There's no sitting back. If you're the guy knifing, you're gonna want to get in their face as fast as possible. That means that by any means necessary. When you're in core, I recommend stem shots. I recommend them until you need to get the smoke kills. Unless you have a partner on your team or a friend that's playing with you that's willing to help you, then run smoke. But if you have a friend or your teammates helping you with the smoke kills and smoke camos, smoke camo for the kills or whatever, then run stem for the knife. Uh, as far as if you're the type of player that likes to play like any other map besides shipment, then I recommend that you get to those areas that you know are like hot spots for the game, hot areas that people would constantly go for over and over again. Uh, as the game and people in the game, it gets further in time. Like the time goes further. Like I'm trying to explain it as best as I can. Um, But like as the game gets older, the style of play changes. That's okay. So yeah, as the game gets older, the style of play changes, and so you're gonna want to, if you like take a break from the game for a while because of some means necessary, or a newer game comes out and you enjoy it, and you come back to this and you're like, I want to get the camos. Well, then you're gonna have to find out exactly how to adjust yourself to those routes that people constantly go through. Uh, as far as lethals, okay, I use the thermite, okay, and here's why. You're gonna have those people that camp, okay. You're gonna have people that are gonna backpedal and they're gonna camp, and most likely they're either going for camos themselves or they're just doing it to be an ass, okay. Which 9 times out of 10, they're trying to get the camos themselves. Okay. Uh, some people like to get the easy stuff out of the way. I recommend that like you get like, which would be guns, gun camos. But I recommend that you get the hardest stuff out of the way so that like when later on down in through the game, as you go to the different guns or whatnot, you're going to be using guns later on. So like you're going to be at awe, you're going to be at awe most of the time rather than, gritting your teeth to just trying to get this done. Um, But like if you are not, I ran thermite. C4 might be better for you, just because it has a better area of effect. The only problem with C4 is that it does have a wider radius of area of effect, but you actually have to take the time to hit an extra button or two. That's the only thing I don't like about C4s. You could use a Molotov, but the tick damage isn't as great, especially if you're in core. Um, Not only that, thermites do stick people. So like if you're facing a riot shielder, an enemy riot shielder, just or that are just trying to counter your knifing, just throw a thermite at them. Like just get them out of the way. Avoid them as much as possible. If you don't have your thermite, then just avoid them as much as possible. Try to outmaneuver them so that they don't know where you are, so you can continue getting your camos. I don't recommend claymores or permixity mines, and here's why: because those two items promote camping. Okay. Um, like a certain maps, at certain maps, okay, I get it. If you're camping at one door and there's another door behind you or to the side or whatever on the other side of the building or area that you're at, then okay, that makes sense. Then using a claymore or permixing mine would be effective, but it's not always going to work. Uh, so like I would recommend having a throw item, just so like if people are coming at you at a distance and you can't get to them, then you could just quickly throw it and be done with it. Uh, I believe that's it. So as far as maps, I recommend I'll go to a custom thing here if I could find it. Yeah, private match. Here we go. Go to custom game and just show you the maps. I'm not going to get into a game, but I'm going to show you the maps that I would recommend. Let's see. Uh, Most of these maps you're not going to probably be on unless you're on like gunfight or 1v1s. Um, okay, Gunrunner. Two hot spots. Okay, the ventilation shaft area, which is in the middle of the map to the left if you're spawning on toward by the warehouse, or the other side of the map would be to the right if you're spawning on the I call it the hangar in a way, because it kind of reminds me of like a airplane hangar, like where you put airplanes in, except there's steel crates there and stuff. Uh, so I haven't really mastered the color sides. So there you go. Basically, the side that you're looking at is the one spawn that I was talking, the first spawn I was talking about. If you notice the like the smoke in the weird warehouse, but what you need to notice is these wooden crates down here. So that side of the map, you're gonna want to go to the left and go into the ventilation shaft area. Um, if you're not or the other hot spot is the bathroom stalls. Okay, the bathroom stalls room, which is directly in the middle of the map. Okay, a lot of people like to run through there. If you're the type of person that likes to sit and wait, that's perfect for you, because then you can hear people running through the water coming down from the little flooded area, or you can hear people coming in through the door. I will recommend that if you're going to hide behind a door, shut the door. Obviously, that's just an obvious piece of advice, but that being said, those are the that two spots on that map that I would pick. Hackney Yard, okay. Um, you're gonna have to wing it here. Like you're gonna want to be in inside areas as much as possible. But a lot of people like to camp on the outside parts of the map where it's kind of open and they can have a wide area of awareness, or they can see most of the area that they're kind of sitting at. But if they are camping up top of that spot right there, I mean, you can just go through the spawn, go inside, go around, climb through the window, and but make sure if you do that that you're using dead silence. I forgot to mention that field upgrade, dead silence, all the way. If you're the type of person that likes to have two, get rid of them. Trust me, that's my play style. You're gonna want to have nothing but dead silence. So, with that being said, if you're like I said, if you're the type of person that likes to run the double specialist or the double field upgrade, I'm sorry, ability, no, use dead silence and dead silence only, so you're not throwing yourself off, and you're not hitting as much buttons, and it's not as much time consuming. But with Hackney Yard, you're just going to want to camp inside areas as much, well, not camp, but run through areas inside as much as possible. Piccadilly, avoid it completely. Shitty map. Ramaza, okay? You're going to want to be, excuse me, you're going to want to be in the middle of the map. You see where that window is? You're going to want to be around that vicinity, like this window right here, right there. You're going to want to be around that vicinity, okay? A lot of people like to run through that route. But there might be games where people don't go that way. So, I recommend us just stay indoors as much as possible. If you have to, move around a little bit, throw off the team, or the enemy team. Rust, okay? Okay, Rust, you're going to want to camp under the tower in the middle of the map. You're going to want to camp near the ladder as much as possible. Or even this little window over here. There's a little window right there. If you've never played on Rust before, which the majority of you have because it's a Modern Warfare 2 map, but that little window right there, that's a perfect spot for you to actually pick off people who are trying to come through that way. A lot of people like to go to that ladder and camp up top. As a matter of fact, it's pretty much an advantage point. So you're going to want to get to those positions that people can that will that will pretty much try to get their way up there. Shipment, okay. Shipment is just you're gonna want to run around and get as many kills as possible in shipment, like a chicken with his head cut off. You're gonna want to run around and get as many kills as you possibly can. But if you're right shielding, I recommend that you don't run at all. Don't sprint at all. Don't sprint at all. You're going to want to walk your way towards them. If you run, you're going to reveal yourself. You're going to reveal your chest and your head on your character, which means it could just laser you and you're done. Shoot house, okay? Right now, that's the middle of the map. Like, that's supposed to be like the hot spot, which that's junkyard, if I'm not mistaken. There's a warehouse, the office building, okay? If you don't know where the office building is, go in a custom game, go on Shoot House, and learn the name locations. But in the office area, you're going to want to sit there, okay? There's the smaller office, and then there's the bigger office. Play by ear. That's all I could say. Play by ear. If you hear an enemy near you, or if your teammates have a UAV up, just keep an eye on the mini map. Camp behind doors. If you can't get to that area, then just do whatever you can. Do whatever you can. That's all you can do, really. I'm gonna go into the next map here. Petrograd. Okay, you're gonna want to stay indoors, basically. Vacant. This is perfect. As long as you're in that warehouse, the hottest spot is the spawns. Believe it or not, the hottest spots are the spawns. It's weird, but like it's how it's always been. It's always been in Vacant. You go back there, that back warehouse back there, the back warehouse building, and go through that way, or like go through the middle here and just do what you can. Like camp indoors. Well, not camp indoors, but run around indoors. I believe that's all the maps you really should go for. And with that being said, hopefully This has helped you guys a lot. I've looked up YouTube videos myself, and like I've tried some things that they've done, and it just didn't work out for me. So I kind of just winged it and did my own thing, and hopefully this will help you better than what the past videos have helped you. Because I believe when they made those videos, shipment wasn't a map yet, and with shipment being a map now, I recommend that you get into shipment as much as humanly possible, because it will be such a relief. It'll be so much easier, and it's the fastest way to get your camos effectively done. So like I said, hopefully this advice has helped. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. Uh, I'll try to put out as much content as I possibly can. It's probably not going to be a lot, so I'm not gonna say when or how long it's going to be, because it wouldn't be fair to you guys if I said something and didn't follow up with it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this content, and it helped you out a lot. Thanks.